my friends, welcome to my online studio. My name is Kate and this is a short tutorial about Warrior 2 and how to do it, okay? So there are a few little things that we can do in our Warrior 2 that make it a little bit safer for the knees and the back and things like that. But I would invite you just to listen to your body always whenever you practice any kind of yoga practice or anything where we are doing any kind of Warrior 2 position or positions that look like it. And just notice what you're feeling, yeah? As long as it feels good, you're probably doing it right. Okay, so don't worry too much about it. But yeah, let's just begin. We don't need anything for this tutorial, just your beautiful selves, okay? And we'll come to the front of the mat. All right, my friends. Ooh, so from here, heel toe your feet into the middle, yeah? And then shift your weight into your right leg. Step your left foot to the back of your mat, whoops, and then heel toe your feet away from each other a little bit. So you've got about one leg's distance in between your feet. So one of your own legs, roughly, between your feet, okay? Of course, as we move, you can make this longer or shorter by heel toeing your back foot out or more close towards your front one as we go, yeah? So you find a position that works for you. I'm just gonna set you up, and then you can do whatever you like in your Warrior 2 as you practice it, okay? So first things first, the feet position. Make sure that your back foot is parallel to the back edge of your mat, okay? Or even turned inwards slightly. But if your knees don't like that, yeah, a parallel foot to the back of your mat is totally and utterly fine. Just try to avoid your back foot turning outwards, okay? That's kind of not so optimal for the knee, all right? You want it to turn as straight parallel to the side as possible. So your toes are kind of pointing off towards the side there. Your front foot, your toes should be facing directly forwards. Yeah, the tendency is that your front foot turns inwards. Okay, again, not so optimal for the knee, right? So you want your front foot to be pointing directly forward. So parallel to the side edge of your mat, yeah? Making sure that your feet are kind of lined up, okay, unless you are pregnant, all right? If you are pregnant and you're practicing, then you might want to heel toe your feet a little bit away from each other and turn your front foot slightly out to the side, okay? Totally okay. You want to keep the hips open in pregnancy, all right? So if you're not pregnant and you're practicing your warriors, then you want to keep that front foot facing directly forwards, okay? Now, the positioning of the feet, usually we say your heel of your front foot should be somewhere around the middle of the arch of your back foot, okay? But if that shifts around a little bit as you practice, it doesn't matter, okay? But just as a beginning baseline, let's say that the front heel, if you were to draw a line from your front heel all the way down your mat, it would meet up with the middle of the back arch of your foot, okay? From here, my friends, actively imagine that you're going to roll your weight to the outer edges of both of your feet, okay? And then from there, actively press down through your big old toes into the mat, okay? So you've got all four corners of your feet pressing into the floor, okay? Four corners, what do I mean? I mean the ball of your little toe, the ball of your big toe, and 2 points on your heel, all pressing down equally into the floor, okay? What we want to try to activate is the arches of the feet, okay? So we want to actively imagine rotating the weight a little bit towards the back of the feet or the outer edges of the feet, just to allow the arches to lift a little bit. And that's why we press down through the big old toes as well, just to activate the arches of the feet a little. Okay, from here, bend into your front knee and make sure that your front knee is directly over your front ankle. Okay, now it can come forwards a little bit, okay, doesn't matter, as long as your knee is healthy. If you have any kind of meniscus problems in your knees, make sure your knees stay stacked over your ankles. And don't go further forward than that, okay? And then press your right knee out to the right side. Again. Yeah, so if you were to look down, past the inside of your front knee, you could see your big toe, your second toe, your third toe, and maybe even your fourth toe past your knee on the inside of your leg. Okay? Really actively press that knee out, because the tendency, as I said, is for the knee to fall inwards. Yeah? And you collapse the arches of your feet inwards. Not so great for the knee. Okay? Press it out to the side and try to keep that knee as stacked over the ankle as possible. Straighten your back leg. So extend your back knee. Again, with beginner yogis, there is this tendency to keep the back knee kind of bent. Straighten it as best you can, yeah? And really imagine here that you can suck the kneecap up the leg if that feels good, but if you do tend to hyperextend your legs in certain poses, then you might want to keep a tiny, tiny, weeny little micro bend into that knee, but see what feels good for you. I love to extend my leg fully and suck my kneecap up my leg because it helps me to engage my bum, okay? You find what feels good for you, but try not to have that knee all bent and flopping around. You want to have it actively engaged. If you need to keep a mini micro bend in it, go for that too. No problem. Okay, so back leg strong. From here, my friends, the tendency in Warrior Two is for the butt to stick out behind you. Okay, so you do tend to see a lot of beginner yogis, when they come into their Warrior Two, you kind of see this going on. Yeah, the butt sticking out, okay? So what we want to do is tuck the tailbone under. Okay, so you pull your tailbone underneath you, keep that back leg super strong, yeah? And keep that front knee over your front ankle. Your lower ribs want to pull under a little bit and in. Okay, so you're keeping your tailbone nice and long. The crown of your head reaches up towards the sky. Your shoulders come down your back, and your arms come up shoulder height with your fingertips level with your shoulders. Okay? Now from here, you want to make sure that your gaze is over your front fingers. Okay? And try to imagine that you're not going to allow yourself to lean forwards. All right? That also tends to happen. Yeah? You want to take your shoulders and bring them over your hips. So your hips and shoulders are stacked, one on top of the other. Go on ahead and see if you can squeeze your bum. I always say squeeze your bum, pretty much in every pose. I love squeezing my butt. Okay, so squeeze your bum, yeah? Arms up shoulder height, and then just look back and make sure that your back hand hasn't sort of fallen down here. Lift him up a bit, yeah? Arms up shoulder height, powerful gaze over your front fingers, shoulders away from the ears. Then you can imagine here that you've got two people pulling on your arms, whoop, in two different directions. So your arms get super long. Well done. Breathe, breathe, hold, hold. And then gently come out, step to the front of your mat, take a break, wiggle it out. Well done. And because we got two legs, my lovely friends, we're going to do that the other side. Okay, so I'm going to turn around so you guys can see me. All right, so come to the front of your mat. Bring your feet roughly together. Yeah, it's only for stepping back. Usually we come into this pose from a downward facing dog or something like that. But then you can just shuffle your feet around and find the position that works for you. All right, so shift your weight into your left foot and step your right foot to the back of your mat. Okay? So in Ashtanga yoga, I think you come in to these warriors from a standing position, and also in some hatha classes, I think. But if you're practicing vinyasa, you might come in from a downward facing dog. So you'd have to find your own way, okay? So again, make sure that your front heel is kind of lined up with the middle of the back arch of your foot. Okay, make sure your back foot is parallel to the back edge of your mat, or even turned a bit inwards. See how that feels for your knee. Your front foot is facing directly forwards, and it hasn't turned inwards at all, okay? Keep it pointing directly forwards. Your front knee comes over your front ankle. Again, see how you feel. If it does come a little bit further forwards, it's all right, or a little bit further back, it's also okay, as long as your knee is healthy, all right? If you have any kind of meniscus or damage in your knees, try to keep the knee stacked over the ankle, okay? Now, you'll see that I do not have a 90-degree bend in my knee, all right? Some yoga schools will say, no, you need to find a 90-degree bend in that knee, okay? That's a really strong hip opener, okay? So you find what works for you. If you want to have a 90-degree angle in that front knee, go for it, no problem. You just have to heel toe and squiggle and wiggle your feet into a position that your body likes, all right? Find what works for you, all right? All I'm saying is this is a setup, and then you can find your own warrior from there, okay? So extend your back leg. Again, if you do want to have a micro bend in the back knee, go on and try that, but don't have it sort of hang in there in space, okay? Strong leg. So maybe suck the kneecap up your leg, engaging your quadricep. Yeah, super strong leg. Roll onto the outer edges of both of your feet, but actively press your big old toes down into the mat. So you're kind of lifting up the arches of your feet a little bit. Tuck your tailbone under. Yeah, so imagine you're going to pull your pubic bone forwards. Boop. Okay? And then notice what happens to your front knee as you do that. Oftentimes when we do this, the front knee falls inwards. Press it out to the side. And imagine that as you look down past your front knee, you can see your big toe. Maybe you can even see your middle toe. Or your second toe. Maybe you can see the third toe. Oh my goodness. See how you feel, all right? But actively press that knee away from falling inwards. Yeah, so you're going to press it out to the left side. Pull your lower rib cage under you a little bit. Yeah, so we don't want to hunch over. We just want to make sure that the back is nice and long and we're not sticking the butt out behind, okay? So lower ribs a little bit in, like you're wearing a little girdle around your waist, okay? So you're wearing a little girdle, a little corset that's pulled your lower rib cage in and tucked your tailbone a little bit under, okay? And notice if you do that, if your back leg bends, and straighten it, okay? Engage your bum if that feels good. I love to engage my bum in all kinds of things. So squeeze your bum, okay? Crown of the head reaches up towards the sky. So imagine someone's pulling on a thread coming out through the top of your head. Your arms come up shoulder height. Your arms level with your shoulders, okay? Powerful gaze over your front fingers. And then really notice if you've sort of slid forwards. Take your shoulders over your hips. Hips and shoulders stacked. Good job. Look back at your back hand and see if it's kind of squiggled forwards or backwards, or if it's sort of hanging down. Lift it up and try and make yourself straight. Okay? So we hold here, reach through the crown of your head, shoulders away from your ears. Well done. Hands reaching away from each other. Press that front knee out to the side. Breathe, breathe. And then release. Choop. There we go. Step to the front. Give your legs a little bit of a wiggle out. Well done. And then take a moment here if you want to. You can do a little bit of a forward fold or anything that suits your body. If you want to take a moment and take a cobra pose or something like that, you can, to stretch out through your hips a little bit. Go on ahead. Otherwise, just take a moment to allow your body to integrate what it's done, all right, and what we've learned today. So my friends, I hope Warrior 2 makes a little bit more sense now. If not, don't worry, keep practicing. And the more you practice, the more you will find what works for your body. Okay, so not all Warrior 2s are going to look the same. You can move your arms around. You can have a different spacing between your legs. You can engage different parts of your body whilst you're doing your Warrior 2, okay? Don't think that what I've told you is concrete information for your body, okay? It's just a basic setup of the Warrior 2 to keep your knees kind of safe, to keep your ankles safe, to keep your shoulders a little bit safe. Not that it really matters here because we're not got any weight on them. So, but you know, to keep your back a little bit safe, this kind of thing, okay? But you find what works for you, all right? And ignore anyone else that says they know better than you. They don't. You are your own best teacher. It is your body. It is your practice. So if anything I've said today doesn't resonate with you, ignore it, okay? And do what suits your body, okay? Nice. All right, my friends, now we've got that sorted out. I wish you a beautiful day, and I hope to see you soon on the mat. Take care of yourselves.